Welcome to Castology, the Nick mini episode. It is I, one of your hosts, Nick Bleeker. Across from me is
Zane Z. Weber.
And
Elizabeth H. Best.
And we are here to do a mini, tiny episode in, we haven't really spoken about it, but the new studio, which is basically just downstairs, but it is way nicer down here, can I just say. No vacuum cleaner, which is huge.
It's true.
Yeah.
Which is
usually
great.
when we podcast, we have to hold quite a few times because it's the exact time that the cleaner comes.
There's a threat of
and we're not next to the kitchen anymore, so that we don't need to hear the clink clack of all of the dishwasher and glasses being clinked and washed. And
But we're a lot further away from the kitchenette, so you have to walk further.
We did have to just go on a fucking trek.
Yeah, this is like some
a saga.
Inception shit.
We had to take rations.
It's fucked. Anyway, we're here to do a really short episode. And I think for me, I was inspired by Liz's lack of doing a podcast, because we've been doing little podcast recommendations, all that sort of stuff. I was asking a question. And I wanted to ask the question of both of you. Mm-hmm. In your opinion, what is the future of podcasting? Zane?
Oh, God.
Oof. Okay, I think that podcasting is going to go the way of blogging for a bit, in the sense that podcasting will become very ubiquitous. So businesses will have podcasts, community groups will have podcasts, and then once the boom of big budget podcasts and movie style podcasts, where Amazon and Spotify are producing these huge podcasts, once that passes, once it dies down a little bit, we're going to come back to the democratization of podcasts, where people who want to have a podcast can create a podcast, and so I don't think it's going to.
It's gotten a little bit gatekeepy.
Yeah, the actuality isn't going to change much, but the idea when someone says, "Oh, you should listen to my podcast," is going to change a lot.
See, when I used to say you should listen to my podcast, people were like, "Oh my God, you have a podcast," and I used to feel really special about it, you guys.
So you should.
I still explained to them that we were doing it before
it was cool.
It was cool. We're podcast hipsters, you see. Not quite
we
as
were pre-COVID podcast.
Yeah, we're pre-COVID,
Yes.
like pre-COVID. And it's quite hard.
You guys, I was podcasting before Trump was president.
Oh,
that's old school.
God, you just
actually
aged
same now
yourself.
that I think about it. Yeah, wow, fucking hell.
Yeah, I think I was on your podcast, Nick, before I was on anything for the network.
That's right.
But here, the thing is that I think the future of the bubble's got to burst at some point. People are going to realize that they can put money elsewhere, or they're going to not get the return on investment with audience numbers. Either that, or I've been scared for quite a while that a lot of independent podcasts are going to get lost because everything's about being a celebrity host now, even if the content isn't as good.
See, that's what I consider to be the boom. The boom where big money gets involved and then can't sustain, and so it falls back to a similar status quo to what it was maybe pre-COVID.
Will it still be cool then?
I feel like is it cool now?
Yeah.
People think it's cool.
Okay, then I think it's still going to be cool. If people have a unique voice and a unique message, I think podcasting is a great medium for them to do it. I don't think that's going to change.
I've just had the shits because I'm in a unique position where I came up with a podcast idea that nobody was doing, and now a bunch of celebrities have jumped on the bandwagon, done it, and we're still getting fucking excellent numbers, but it's so easy for them to out-media us, even though we've been doing it longer and better.
Yeah. And that is podcasting. The architecture of podcasting is not set up to like TV, like streaming, like movies. It's not set up to make money. So there's a big scramble now to take known quantities and transfer it to podcasting and try to make another stream of income. And I just don't see that working unless Spotify does take over the entire market and there's an entire shift in how podcasts are produced and hosted and
But
run.
how often do those shifts actually ever happen?
Never.
Yeah.
It's never happened because cable TV had a huge hold on TV for a long time, but streaming came and disrupted it. And podcasting starting out as a streaming platform, it's just a streaming platform that literally anyone can get onto. It's like it's like PBS, but
there's
for
just
everyone.
so many. I
internet.
literally saw a meme the other day that was like, "What do you call a group of men? A podcast?"
Yeah.
Like that's the collective
Good men.
noun for dudes now.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I want it to get back to a place where it's so hard to promote your podcasts at the moment, and I want to get back to a place where it's not the big wigs overshadowing everybody. And I hope that we get there because, you know, like, and I'm not saying that we're small potatoes. Like, if you look at our numbers, we're in the top 1% of podcasts, or
I think
top 3 now.
1.5.
Top
yeah.
what? So Castology, this podcast is top 1.5% of all podcasts, which is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And yet we're not getting anywhere near the, you know, I don't know, exposure.
We are not getting Joe Rogan money.
No.
That'd be nice.
And we've got good numbers. Like, so it's hard when you're like, who the fuck are you? And I'm like, well, here's us with our podcast numbers. But it's
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We've got 3 years of back catalogue. There's like, this is who we are and this is what we say.
yeah. And we're not nearly as controversial and pissing people off here as Joe Rogan. So
I think that says a lot about our celebrity culture, though. Like,
Yeah.
I think that podcasting has been discovered by celebrities.
And then influencers, don't get me started on influencers who take up podcasts, because as someone who's been a journalist and has had a lot of my journalism business shut down because it's easier for them to pay a celebrity to
Just
take a
do it.
photo with the product than for me to write something about it. Influencers have been in my existence.
that's the thing. Like, it's easier to have a headline than a story.
Please, all I want to say to anybody listening out there is please vote with your ears in terms of good content. Don't just fangirl, fanboy, fan person over something because you think that you love them and you want to listen to their voice more. Invest in podcasts that have good content, and that's all I have to say.
I would say, in general, a celebrity is not your friend.
No.
A celebrity can be a good person. They can be a great person. They can be a paragon of a human being, but they're still not your friend.
And try and support.
If you enjoy listening to them, do so.
Yeah.
But their name and their personality is not yours. You don't have that person. And this is my problem with celebrity culture in general and that's, I think, what I mean by celebrities have moved into podcasting, and I think they will move out of it again.
I think
as
so
well.
too. Yeah.
Do you think because they moved from movies into television, and by God have they stayed there?
Movies and television have always been mainstream, though.
Yeah, I know, but like, remember when movie actors wouldn't dare do television because it would tarnish their brand, and now all they want to do is get like a 10-part miniseries?
Yeah, I understand that. I do think that podcasting is inherently a little bit more democratic, though.
Yeah.
And I hope that it stays that way. I don't think there's any way for you to kill podcasting, because I think it is a very easy way to communicate over the internet. Similar to blogs, similar to like opinion pages, and it is kind of social media-esque, whereas you are a person with a voice and you are relating to other people, but they don't get to actually talk back to you. So I think podcasting will go through a boom, and that boom involves a lot of Jeff Bezos's and et cetera moving in, taking over or trying to take over, and then I don't see it working in the same way that I don't think you can turn podcasting into Netflix. So
Even Netflix is struggling at the moment.
And Netflix is struggling for the same reason that podcasting, that model won't fit podcasting, is because there are so many other options.
Oversaturation. Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, any person with a phone can make a podcast. And if any person with a phone could make a TV show, Netflix wouldn't be a thing.
Yeah.
There's not a single podcast that I listen to that if they went behind a paywall that I would sign up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd just go, you know what? I've got 50 other podcasts. I'll find another one.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess that's the problem with that model, is that like there's always going to be something else out there that you can attach yourself to.
And the only reason I listen to Audible podcasts is because I already have an Audible membership because I listen to audiobooks. There's no Audible podcast that I've ever gone, ooh, I must sign up for that service because I need to listen to that podcast.
I'm much the same. in the sense that I am more than willing to put money where my mouth is and support podcast creators through Patreon, through Coffee or whatever.
Yeah, if they goes directly to them.
If they go through a paywall, though, I will withdraw that because I don't want the industry going in that direction. And so I kind of have to vote with my money and my listenership.
Yep.
So, yeah, like
Message of that is support what you love, and I hope that what you love isn't just celebrities.
I think the message is what we do as a podcast is like, look for the good stuff.
Yeah. And please send us the niche stuff and the stuff that you don't think is getting enough airtime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our job is to find gems, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes we'll recommend giant podcasts just so that we can tear them down, because that's fun too.
Because it does make you feel much better.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Especially when they have weird audio.
Yeah.
Bastard weird. What are
Especially
you
when
looking
they
at me
have
for?
Bill Gates.
I'm looking at you because you're running the podcast, and so I was wondering if
I was just about
you have anything else to add.
Well, no, I think for me, I was just going to thank you both for talking for me for the last.
I know.
I'm going to go with like 11 minutes. It's been great. Thank you very much.
Your Nickcast has been about us.
Yeah, it's been great. But I think like I don't have much to add other than that. And I think also one other addendum that I'd probably put there is that if there is a show that you like that is a smaller show, it's not the celebrity one, do make the effort to rate it and review it and get into contact with them if you like
reach
it.
out.
Because a lot of shows like to get that stuff, right?
And look, if you listen to a particular show and you're like, oh my God, I love these guys, and you write to them, they might write back.
We've had that happen a couple of times with stuff that we've recommended, and they respond. It's great.
I lost my shit when I heard that the Wooden Overcoats people heard that we reviewed them and then sent us more recommendations. I went to listen to that Tom Crowley, was it? It's Tom Crowley time.
Yep.
Fucking funny. So yeah,
Great
we'll
work,
write
everyone.
back to you if you write to us, if you love us enough.
Yeah. We do love to hear it. Zane gave us a review before, so that was really sweet. Anyway,
Did it?
that was the Nickcast. Thank you very much, both of you, for talking for me. It's been great.
You're welcome.
Love doing your homework for you.
It's so fucking good. Anyway, if you want to send us through some podcasts, you can go to that'snotcanon.com/castology. Zane will do all the work, just like he's done for this episode. Anyway, that's it for me. It's been awesome. Keep listening to podcasts, people.
There are known knowns, known unknowns, and unknown unknowns. But there are also unknown knowns. The Ancient and Esoteric Order of the Jackalope is a secret society devoted to unearthing and sharing this forgotten knowledge. Each episode, we take one of these strange stories and share it with you. No topic is off limits, except for the obvious. Available wherever fine podcasts are sold.